CBS Young and the Restless Spoilers. Full Fridays, August 21. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday, and honestly, the sun is shining outside, but inside my brain it is just pure Genoa City chaos. We have so much to unpack today, so grab a huge cup of coffee, or maybe something stronger, because these characters are absolutely losing their minds this week. Let's just dive right into this mess. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin because the level of stress on this show right now is off the charts. Let's start with a little moment that happened before the main drama. Jack Abbott and Kyle Abbott ended up running right into Lily Winters and Kane Ashby. And you guys, just imagine the sheer, unfiltered awkwardness of this encounter. Let's be real for a second. Jack is barely holding it together. He just got home to recover. He is deeply traumatized by Dr. Lawrence Markham and Patty Williams, and his wife Diane is practically losing her mind with paranoia. Jack is exhausted. He looks like he hasn't slept in a decade. And Kyle is a whole other disaster. He is secretly trauma bonding and kissing Victoria Newman, which is so gross and weird considering he used to date her daughter Claire. So the Abbott men are already a walking mess. But then you have Lily and Kane. Lily is furious, exhausted, and fiercely determined to protect Chancellor Winters. Kane just extorted his way back into the company by donating his bone marrow to Malcolm, and now he is gearing up for a brutal, dirty corporate war against Billy Abbott. So when Jack and Kyle bump into Lily and Kane, the tension is just thick enough to cut with a knife. Lily is probably glaring daggers at anyone with the last name Abbott right now. Jack doesn't want to deal with Billy's corporate espionage nonsense, and Kane is just standing there, ready to fight to the death to protect Lily's legacy. It was just a brief run-in, but the glaring and the fake smiles were just so loud, you can feel the absolute hatred bubbling under the surface. It is classic Genoa City, where nobody can just go get a coffee without running into their mortal enemy. Speaking of getting coffee and running into your mortal enemy, let's talk about Crimson Lights. So Sharon is at the coffee house, right? She is literally just trying to do her job. She is carrying this heavy tub of dirty dishes, probably exhausted from worrying about her entire family falling apart. And who walks in? Matt Clark. Yes, Matt Clark. Why does he keep coming back here? What is his obsession with this coffee shop and this family? Sharon sees him, and she just snaps. She looks at him with so much anger, and she just asks him, why do you keep coming back? And honestly, Sharon is asking the question we are all screaming at our screens. But Matt doesn't leave. Instead, he asks how Nick Newman is doing, and you guys, the audacity of this man. Nick is currently hitting absolute rock bottom. Nick checked out of rehab against medical advice. He had a horrifying fentanyl nightmare where Matt literally tortured him psychologically. And now Nick is in a dingy motel doing heavy drugs and sleeping with his enabler neighbor, Marie Kirkland. Nick is broken, and Matt has the nerve to ask how he's doing. Sharon is not having it. She tells Matt that she doesn't want him to forget or downplay all the terrible, horrible things he has done to her family. She reminds him that Nick is breaking down and filled with shame. And then something weird happens. Matt says he is sorry. He actually says, I'm sorry, and asks if there is anything he can do to help. Sharon just tells him to go away. But Matt drops a massive bomb. He tells Sharon that he got a job with Phyllis Summers. Let me repeat that. Matt Clark is now working for Phyllis Summers. What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? Uh, Phyllis just narrowly escaped a massive AI evidence trap set by Victor. She took off Matt's ankle monitor and now she is employing him. Phyllis is so self destructive, it is actually painful to watch. She is doing this just to stick it to Victor, but she is playing with fire. Matt is a dangerous guy. But then the scene at Crimson Lights gets even deeper, and honestly, it gets a little emotional. Matt tells Sharon that he feels accepted by Phyllis. He says, "This is what I want. I want to have a life here." And you look at his face, and he looks so desperate. And Sharon, because she is Sharon and she has a heart of gold even when she shouldn't, she actually softens a little bit. She admits that she has done some unthinkable things not too long ago herself. She tells Matt that she actually believes he is trying to change, but she also points out how hard it is to move forward when nobody wants to believe your change is real. She implies that he is stuck because he is desperately looking for forgiveness from people who just can't give it to him. And then Matt starts crying, like actual tears falling down his face. He starts crying and he says, "All the things I did to hurt you." He admits that a part of him desperately wants her to forgive him. He wants Nick to forgive him, but he says he knows it will never happen. And you guys, I was watching this and thinking, is this real? Is Matt Clark actually feeling remorse? This is the guy who tortured them. The guy who made Noah and Sienna flee to Los Angeles because they were so traumatized. But then you see him crying, and maybe, just maybe, he is broken too. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. He is a villain, but he is also a human being. Or maybe he is just manipulating her. I changed my mind. He is definitely manipulating her. He knows Sharon is empathetic and he is using it, but Sharon tells him that forgiveness isn't easy, and maybe he just needs to forgive himself. But Matt refuses to just walk away. He tells her that he is going to stay in Genoa City and he is going to earn her forgiveness no matter what it costs. And that just sounds like a threat wrapped in an apology, doesn't it? If Matt is determined to fix things, he usually ends up breaking them worse. I am so scared for Sharon right now. She is dealing with so much, with Mariah being vulnerable and Nick completely off the rails. She does not need Matt Clark hovering around Crimson Lights trying to play the redemption card. So let's move away from the coffee house and talk about the Newman Ranch, because the contrast between what is happening with Nick and what is happening with his parents is actually insane. So Nikki and Victor are having a romantic evening. Nikki decides to bring the romance of Venice right into their living room. Victor's walking around and he hears this soft romantic music playing. He finds a letter waiting for him. And then Nikki comes walking down the stairs wearing a Venetian mask over her eyes. She gives him a book of love poetry, and Victor actually reads a love poem out loud to her. And look, on the surface, it is a beautiful scene. It is classic Victor and Nikki romance. But let's be real for a second. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. This whole scene is so tone deaf to what is actually happening in their family. Nikki is putting on this massive, elaborate, brave face. She is playing dress up and pretending everything is fine. But her son Nick is literally dying in a motel room right now. He is doing fentanyl with a random woman, and Nikki knows he checked out of rehab. She knows he is in danger. But instead of tearing the city apart looking for him, she is wearing a Venetian mask and listening to poetry. It is just so bizarre. It feels like a first draft of a script where they forgot what the other characters were doing. And let's not forget about Victor's role in all of this. Victor is playing the doting romantic husband right now. He is reading poetry and looking at Nikki like she's the only woman in the world. But a few weeks ago, when Nikki was suffering from severe headaches and a brain tumor, Victor literally manipulated her into signing away her personal shares of Newman Enterprises. He put them in a trust that he controls. He took advantage of his sick wife to secure his corporate empire. And now he is reading her love poetry. Victor Newman is a snake. He is a manipulative, ruthless snake. And Nikki just goes along with it because she is so desperate for stability while her son is spiraling. It is a deeply toxic dynamic, but I guess that is why we have been watching them for decades. They are drawn to each other's toxicity. But still, the timing of this Venice masquerade is just wild to me. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the absolute most frustrating person on this entire show right now, Billy Abbott. I cannot even begin to explain how tired I am of Billy's cycle of self-destruction. So Billy is somewhere, probably his office or the GCAC, and he buys a mini bottle of champagne. He is just pouring it for himself, looking so incredibly smug. He is celebrating. Audra Charles walks in, and Billy just starts bragging. He tells Audra that he finally has everything he ever wanted. He says he is taking control of a company he never should have lost. The Abbott's own chancellor, and I will run it. And Audra, who is usually a scheming corporate climber herself, is actually the voice of reason here. Audra looks at him and asks the most important question, does Sally know about this? Is she okay with this? Because Audra knows that Sally and Billy have had massive issues over Chancellor in the past. And Audra knows something else, too. She knows Sally is pregnant. Sally is pregnant. She is terrified because she lost baby Ava, and she desperately needs peace and stability right now. But what does Billy say? Billy just waves it off. He admits that he hasn't even told Sally yet. He made this massive, life-altering decision to launch a hostile corporate takeover against his own family and Lily Winters, and he didn't even discuss it with his pregnant girlfriend. And then he has the absolute nerve to say, I think she'll be thrilled for me. What is he thinking? Seriously, what is going through Billy's head? Sally is going to lose her mind when she finds out. She specifically told Billy she didn't want a partner who was always chasing the next shiny, chaotic thing. She wants a safe, stable life for her baby. And Billy is literally starting World War III in the corporate world. Audra tries to warn him. She points out that Chancellor was a huge problem for them before. She is basically begging him to realize how much stress he is about to put on Sally. But Billy just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it at all. He is so blinded by his own ego and his obsession with proving himself to Victor and Jack and Jill that he is completely ignoring the woman he claims to love. And you know what is going to happen. Sally is going to find out, probably from someone else, and she is going to feel completely betrayed. She is going to realize that Billy hasn't changed at all. He is still the same reckless, selfish guy who makes unilateral decisions without thinking about the consequences. And with her pregnancy hormones and her trauma over losing Ava, this could literally break them apart. Audra knows this. Audra suffered a miscarriage years ago with Noah, so she knows exactly how dangerous stress can be for a pregnant woman. She is trying to protect Sally's peace, but Billy is just popping champagne and living in his own delusional fantasy world. So here we are. The whole town is just a mess. Jack and Lily are gearing up for a war they didn't ask for. Matt Clark is crying in coffee shops and working for Phyllis. Nikki and Victor are playing dress-up while their son is on the brink of death. And Billy is destroying his relationship before his baby is even born. It is exhausting, you guys. It really is. I sit here watching this and I just want to shake these characters. But I guess that is why we keep tuning in, right? We love the mess. We love the chaos, even when it makes absolutely no sense and the flow of the story is just clunky and weird. I really want to know what you guys think about all of this. Do you think Matt is actually sorry, or is he just playing Sharon? And what is Phyllis planning to do with Matt? That has to be a disaster waiting to happen. And please tell me I am not the only one who thinks Victor and Nikki's romantic night is completely inappropriate right now. And Billy, don't even get me started on Billy again. I am so mad at him. Sally deserves so much better. Anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's vent together because I definitely need to talk this out. I'm going to go get another cup of coffee and try to process all of this